With all of this, I think the CASIGYs have a mascot. And I think people who feel alienated really need a mascot. And that's not the only reason. I chose this mascot because this creature was different. And because of their difference, they were excluded and ridiculed and shunned and shamed and ostracized and eventually banished into exile. Now our mascot, and if you've heard me give this presentation before, I'm going to change it up a little and then what I have shared before. And that is, I think our mascot is the nephew of the famous one that you know about, who had a red nose and antlers. So meet CASIGY. CASIGY, you know his famous uncle, but you haven't met him or his cousins yet. He's got some cousins that are very much like him, and you see these characteristics tend to run in families. CASIGYs often feel isolated, but yet there's many of us, and it's important for you and your kids and your students to know you're not alone. So again, this difference led to all these experiences of being banished into exile eventually. But that was all because of his red nose. Later, his uncle returned, and CASIGY returned also. His uncle saved the day, all because of that same red nose. I would ask you, what's your red nose? What's your children's and your students' red nose? It's important for you to identify, for them to identify. What's your red nose? You might take a moment and just jot a note. What was the first thing that popped into your head about your own red nose or that of your children or your students? It can be very important to recognize that. What we've been talking about here is the CASIGY cycle of discouragement. Stage one is having a red nose and being a misfit, not fitting in, not feeling like there's anywhere to belong. Many gifted children, highly sensitive children, especially those who have reached developmental phases earlier than their age mates, don't relate to their age mates. I have had adults tell me that they have lived all of their lives being an outcast and feeling like they're in exile. The reason why our mascots are so important is because they have experienced a return from exile, and they have a lot to teach us and to show us about how to return from exile. There's also, well, so this is then the hero and the heroine's journey that we're talking about.